Oh man, yep. Lesson 16, all good. So, well, thank you for the patience through the cinnamon roll and everything else. And if Brett and Robin show, which they should in about 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, we'll stuff him into the mix here. He had to work a little late. So I think he's covering somebody else's shift till 6:30.
Yeah, that's what she said.
So anyway, all right. Well, that just means there'll be more for you guys to do. Aren't you excited? Good times. There you go. Perfect. All right. Carol, I'm going to start with you. Go ahead and say it. And then if you know what it is, tell me where to draw the line.
Abad.
Abad, yep.
And that's to perish.
Yes, correct. What about the next one?
The next one is Cal.
Oh, hell. Yep.
And that's food.
Yep, that's correct. Very nice. Well, you're doing so good. Give me the next one.
And then nah.
So nach,
No.
nu,
No.
anachnu.
And I think that's
Close. We.
me.
Close. It's we. And we will start to learn that this little extension right here for new, you'll see that it actually will correspond to, if I get my mouse over here, start my video, it'll correspond to the pronominal suffix on words. So if it's we, it'll be nu on the end of the word.
Oh.
So anachnu is the standalone pronoun for we. But if we wanted to say our horse, it'd be suseinu. And you'll see that little extension here, the little last part, will start to line up with those things. So if you learn your pronouns, anachnu, ani, anohi, ata, those, you'll start to be able to correspond those to the pronominal suffixes that we add onto words. So yeah, very good. Wayne, give me the last two. I actually just pronounced them for you.
Ani,
Perfect.
that's I.
Already done.
And a no, enoka.
Ano, he. You were correct first time. Ano, he. And that one is also I.
Really?
So there's two different words for I, but this is the most common right here. It's the most common one you'll see, but this one will pop up too. But if you just ani, anohi, if you remember that ani is I, then when you get to anohi, it'll sound similar enough that usually you'll catch it. All right, very good. I'm going to clear you out. Get to the next one. All right. So, Steve, let's go with, why don't you give me the first couple up here?
What?
Yes, and what is an ought?
I think it's you.
It is you. Which version of you?
I think, well, that would be a female.
Feminine? Yep. Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Plural or singular?
I think it's a singular.
Singular. That's correct. Good job. Well, what about the next one then? You did such a good job.
Ata. And that would be, the H would be, it's a masculine, but I think it's a you.
It is you. Very good. It is masculine. Plural or singular?
It would be singular.
Singular. That's right. So these are a little reversed from what we're used to learning, right? Where the kamatse usually indicates feminine, but it's masculine here. It's a little irregular. Some would argue it's actually regular and the others are irregular, but that's a debate for people who are paid money to work at colleges. So, all right. Well, I'll tell you what, you did so good. Why don't you give me the next one?
Well, let me do that one.
So you want to do that one? Do you know it? Gary, go ahead.
Atem.
Atem. What's an atem?
Probably you.
It is you. That is correct. Masculine or feminine?
Masculine word.
Masculine. And plural, you said?
Yes.
Yep, that is correct. Very nice. Well, then take the next one.
The base. No, see, Aton,
10
Aten,
or Atena. You'll see either one there. This doesn't happen very often in scripture. There aren't a lot of groups of you feminine that are you females that are being spoken to. So it just doesn't occur that often. But you, and this is feminine, plural or singular?
we'll go with plural.
It is plural. That's correct. That's correct. All right.
It's coin.
Daisy, can you pronounce this one for me?
No. No.
With the Dalit, Abet, and Resh.
Only, I mean, sorry. Do,
Yeah.
yeah, roll, yeah, the ball,
The bear.
the
The bear. Or yep. Do you remember, you guys remember the Saturday Night Live skit of the guy who would do, and I forget who it was, but would talk about the Bears. Do you remember that? This comedian who would talk about the Bears, Chicago Bears. Don't remember that? All right, then my hint to remember will not work for you. So the bear, to speak is, and you'll almost always see it in this form. It's a verb form when you see it with this and vowel combination. All right. Last one, just in time for the arrivals. Hey guys, good to see you.
Mine.
We're back to drawing lines. So let's see. Robin, she's cutting out us. We'll give it to Brent then. We'll come back to her. Why don't you give me these first two here, Brent? Hazak. That's right. And what's a hazak?
I didn't study this time. It's like, yes. Oh. No. I guess wise.
Nope, it's to be strong. Hazak. He was strong. Hazak. All right. Well, this one you might know.
Chasam.
Hasam. You might have heard it in the Bible Project as Chokhmah. Chokhmah. Nope, that one's wise. That's all right. Don't feel bad. You don't get to study. It's hard to know. It's like, I have no idea what they are. Yeah, I get it. So, Hasam is, this is an adjective for wise. Can also mean he is or he was wise. But Chokhmah is the noun form for wisdom. Chokhmah. So it's a good one to see because if you're going to spend a lot of time in poetry, you'll see that word quite a bit. Quite a bit. Robin, can you pronounce this one for me?
Is it Hemishi?
So it'll be Hamishi. You're really close. Hamishi,
Okay.
which means fifth. Now, why would we know that means fifth? Do you remember the roots on that one?
Very like ending.
The E ending tells us fifth, but how do we know it's related to the number 5? What are the root letters in here? Do you remember? So the het. What's the next one?
The men.
The mem. Yep, that's the other root letter. And what's the last root letter? The sheen. That's right. That's your root right there. Hamishi. So how would you say 5?
Amish.
Amesh.
Mish.
Amesh. Yep. Perfect. Well, you did so good on that one. Give me the next one.
What?
Great.
I always forget what that first letter is.
That's a tet.
Oh, okay. I don't know why I always forget that one. Okay, so terem.
Terem. Yep. Very good. And what's a terem?
Is that before?
It is. Before, not yet. Very nice. All right, we got the last two here for Jade. To Bob. So it'll be Tabek. That's a on the end. Yeah.
Right.
Yep. That or
Just toke.
that's the toke. Toke. Exactly. Toke. So when I said if you're token in the midst of the cloud,
That's right.
right? So it's in the midst of something. We're in the middle of something. Oftentimes you'll see it as beto, in the midst. Beto, or in a midst, or in midst of. So I actually did not know this was the root of it until I put that slide together last week.
Thanks. Learning.
I've never seen that in that form. So
What's the word for knowledge? Because some proverb is always knowledge and wisdom, understanding or something.
So Bane, it's a slightly different form of Ben, but Bane is understanding. Knowledge is the adjective or noun form of yada, to know. So it'd be like Yodea, the ones who know.
Yeah.
So, yep. All right. Construct slide as usual, because we're just going to continue to hit on this. It'll be important. As always, practice them. Just run through them. Su, susim, susa, susot, suse, susat, susot. And try to get those into your mind that one is an absolute form, one is a construct form, because that construct form is how we're going to attach things to the ends of words. So when we put a pronoun on the end of the word, he, she, you, we, I, that pronoun will follow the construct form. That's how you know it's going to belong there. And the same thing is going to happen with verbs. When you have a verb that's something like he handed something to her, or he handed her something. So you have the he part of the verb, and then you have a her pronoun on the end of the verb. It's going to take a construct form at the end, and that's how you know that that word has been attached to it. And it also helps with all of the phrasing within the text too. So you know the of this, of that, and the relationship within the phrase. So these are pretty straightforward. They will come in very handy as well with a number of verbs that use these forms. It will help you distinguish things like participles. Those are, anybody remember what a participle is? Everyone is looking at the sixth grader.
Yeah. I don't remember.
Participles tend to be verbs that end in ing, running. It can also take on a form of the running one, or the one who is running, and then it can change up to somewhat of a noun form, right? Well, participles take these forms to tell you to what they're referring to. If so, you want to know, well, what is running? Well, if it's an eam, you need to look for another eam object in the phrase so you know what's running. That's how you put the words together. But some verbs, like infinitives, sixth grader,
To
be. That's right. To be words, 2 words, to run, to sit, to be, something like that. That's an infinitive. Well, the infinitives will take these forms because you need to know what it is that is sitting or is running, to run. You have to know that. It's part of a phrase. So these endings will help you navigate everything. So I would really highly encourage you to study those. It will help pull a lot of that together. All right. We're going to do another night of just some review and reading, and we're going to actually go through Jonah. Just the first chapter, hit a couple of verses through that, read, and then just kind of come back through again and look at what we know, and then review some of the suffixes that we've been looking at again. So that's our plan for tonight. We'll be doing several weeks of just reviewing for a little while to try to help us get in the habit of reading it, recognizing things before we drop you into the blender that is known as the Hebrew verbal system. Give you it may not be as hard as you think. So, all right. So Jonah, who's read the book of Jonah? Number of people. Yep. Jonah is this interesting character that's out there. His name is right over here. Let's see if I have my line drawing on again. That's his name, Jonah. Jonah is actually the noun that means dove. So when you read the story of Noah and you see that he releases a dove, he releases Jonah and waits for her to return. And so Jonah is the word for dove. So this book's name is Dove. It's a story about the dove. But in this case, his name is actually Jonah. And Jonah's a fascinating character. Everything in this book is overblown. Everything is just dramatic, like you can't imagine. There will be so everything is big. The ship is big. The wind is big. The storm is big, right? Everything's big. And then when we get to things that are bad, it's really bad. In fact, it's so bad that even the cows repent. Even the cows repent. The cows sit in repentance and they repent of their sin.
That's when we're talking about Nineveh.
Yeah, in Nineveh. Yep. So everything in this book is just over the top with its illusion and its poetry, and it's intentionally made that way to try to drive this message home of what's going on. And so it's an interesting book. It's a fun book. It's some of the easiest prophetic writing to read. Most prophetic writing is very poetic, and you kind of have to read 2 verses at a time to sort of put together what's going on. But Jonah is very much a narrative. It's a story that's being told. And in fact, the message that God's going to give Jonah to tell the people is a very short message. And Jonah's words are very few to the people of Nineveh, as it turns out. So we're going to take a few weeks and just go through select verses of Jonah to sort of set the stage as to what's going on. And I would encourage you, if you have access to the internet, there are a number of sources you can go to where you can look up the Hebrew and see the English on the other side, or right click and find out what that word's comprised of, and maybe try to interact with the text a little bit on your own as well. So anyway, well, with that, we're going to round with Jane. We're going to come right back to Carol. I think I have enough slides in here for everybody to read. We may break a few up along the way, but if you would, why don't you read the first verse here? I will let you know, this is Jonah's name, and this is the divine name of God. So you can say Adonai when you get there.
Vahei Dovor Adonai El Ifane
So it's Yo Amna.
Yona. Okay. Vahi Vein
Vain. Yep.
Ema
So that's Ami
Ami
Tai. Amitai.
Le
Lamar.
More.
Lamor. Yep. Very good. All right. So Vayahi Devar Adonai El Yona Ben Amitai Lemor. All right. So is there anything in here? We'll just continue to run this exercise. Things in here that you recognize that we can draw attention to?
Devar and
We did. We did have not Devar, Avad. Avad. Devar is to speak or say. It also means what?
Word.
A word or a matter or a thing. And if we notice, and this is what you'll kind of grow into a habit of, is the verb form that the vowels here have reduced. So davar is how we learned a word, matter, or thing. And you can see we've got a reduction in vowels. We're now starting with a shawa and a short patak.
So it's probably construct.
It's in construct. This is your clue that there would typically be a makaf right here joining these two words. So you could say, and it happened, or and it was. The word of the Lord was, what's L? Was to who? Jonah. So if you've read prophecy, this is that opening phrase that says, and the word of the Lord came to Jonah, saying. This is that introductory model that you'll see in the front and in the beginning of most prophets. And the word of the Lord was to Jonah, which then it adds who he's the son of, saying. And this is a formula that happens in almost all the prophetic books. So whenever you read, and the word of the Lord came, this is the formula that follows right here. It's fairly straightforward.
So it's Ben, the construct of bang.
So yes, I'm glad you're noticing the Venn here. And there might be a couple things might be a few questions for you here, but yes, this is in construct. So Venn would be what word?
Son of.
Son of, and son of who?
Amitai.
Amittai, of Amittai. Yep. So it's Jonah, the son of Amittai. Now, this looks a little different because we're missing the Dagesh here, right? Do we remember why we're missing a Dagesh?
Guttural. The guttural.
Nope, it's a bet. It's part of the Begad Kafat group of letters, and the Dagesh can either be doubling or just a strong Dagesh for pronunciation. So we know this isn't doubled because it's the word Ben, but why have we lost our Dagesh here? No, it's okay. Go ahead. There's a couple. It's an awkward rule. Here's why. What's preceding the bet? What comes? It's the kamatz a. It's a vowel. It's preceding.
But that's a name.
Doesn't matter. It's a vowel that precedes the bet, and so it drops. It's Dagesh.
Is that true for all body letters?
Begad Kafat letters is true for all of them. Yep.
It's a bit more and more. I'm just trying to think if it's the original without all the vowels and dots or whatever, because it was originally without Dageshes or anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like, that's helps me make sense in things, I guess.
Yeah. So when you see it missing, it should catch your attention and be like, whoa, why is it not there? Well, it's preceded by a vowel.
There's times when we go through all of this and I just thought, to your point, initially didn't have all of the extra in there. I think that they were sampling the sacraments wine. All they were working on.
It's very possible.
Yeah. This doesn't make sense. I need more.
And then Robin, Amor, right here. What is the Aleph Memresh root?
There.
To say, to speak, it's a speaking term. My lamed usually means what?
Do.
It usually means to, right? Yeah, it's a preposition on the front of this verb. We'll learn about that form a little bit later. But in this case, it's just simply saying, the way it would specifically read is to say. And the word of the Lord was to Jonah, son of Amittai, to say. That's how you would actually say it. But we just simplify and smooth the English by putting in saying.
Lamor is one of our words, isn't it?
I don't remember if Lamor is one of the ones. It's one I've called attention to a lot. This Vayahi with a hey. I just went through this on Thursday with my Hebrew reading class that we graduated with, and we're doing the genealogy in Genesis, and the verses alternate: Vayahi, 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 because Vayahi is and it was or it came about, but Vayahi is and he lived. So the letter difference matters. I is live, L'chaim, but Yaha is it happened. It was. So it's it got us all confused when we got into it. We're like, whoa, wait a minute, what's going on
Like
here?
you see lighthouse in Hebrew, it's like
Yes.
Yeah, you could say Yahi, Yahai. Sure. Yahi, Yahai. Mhm. And if you have trouble remembering that this is the to be verb, do you know what this word Adonai, Yahweh, stands for? What did he say his name was to Moses?
I am.
I am. Actually, what he says something like, tell them that I am sent you. But he speaks of his name as I was and I am. But then he's like, tell them I am sent you. And this is the letter form of tell them I am sent you. Well, notice what's here. Yod, Hey, Vav, Hey. What do we have here? Yod, Hey, and it's a shortened form of to be, I am, or it was. So almost every verse, believe it or not, tons of verses start with the first two characters of Adonai's name. Right there. That's how you can remember it's the to be verb. It's an easy way to do that. It's one half of God's divine name. Right there. All right. Well, enough with that.
Also, Jewish rabbi is saying that his name can also mean what I am now. I am alone.
Yes, I would be good with that too. Yep.
Which goes on to say, I change not.
I change not. Yes.
I'm curious. It sounds like it's being mispronounced. Is that on purpose?
Which part?
When you say like Yahweh or whatever, wouldn't that be a thought or whatever, or comments?
Well, that's the whole issue with why they don't pronounce the name, because they don't know how to pronounce it. They don't know what the vowels are. Now, I think a good case can be made for theophoric names. It's a big, long word. Theophoric names. So Jeremiah, Yah. The Yah on the end of Jeremiah are the first two characters for Yah. And we have a number of names that have, some combination of the 3-4 characters of Yahweh. And those names are not disputed is to their pronunciation. So I think a case can be made for Yahweh. Now, the reason why you see the vowels here is these are the vowels from the word Adonai, which means my Lord. So they simply took the 4 consonants and they put the vowels for Adonai on it as a clue to you. This is the divine name. So say Adonai. So I'm good saying Yahweh, Adonai, Hashem.
Even the W sound, because that would be a Vav there, right?
Yeah, and the Vav historically was a Wah. A Vav.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it changed into a Vav because we already had a Yod. So you get a Yo and a Wah, and it gets hard to differentiate them. So eventually it gravitated to a Vav.
But
Say Vav. Mm-hmm. But in Arabic, it'll be a Wah.
Opposite of Russian.
Yeah. So the word of the Lord came to, and what was his name? Jonah? Jonah, son of Amittai. Did I spell that right? Amittai. Yeah. Nope, double T.
let's go.
Son of Amittai. Anybody want to take a stab at Amittai?
What do you mean?
At what it means?
I thought you meant to say him. Like, you just did it. Sure.
Amittai. Now, break it up right here. Now this would actually be people. And the I is probably something like my people. So this would be Dove, son of my people. Could possibly mean something else if we have a different root over here, but it's fun to kind of take a stab at what the names might be. We won't get into that too much tonight. All right. Wayne, are you ready?
Restaurant. Like, can I see that?
If you want some help, I can help you.
Yeah. Well, if I say anything wrong,
Go ahead. Be correct. Yeah. Okay.
no, I didn't say anything yet.
It's pronounced yet.
Yeah. It's cool. Lot.
Lek. Yep.
Cum lot. All. L.
L.
Neen.
Put this one together. Neen.
Neen.
Nope. Just neen.
Neen.
Ve.
Neen vet.
Ninve.
Oh. Let's see. Still trying to figure out need that. Ear.
Hot ear. Okay. So we'll pause right here and see if we can put the sentence together.
Okay.
Okay. Cum lech el ninve ha ear. All right. There might be a few in here, and I've given you some of the English down here, right? Cum is the word for arise. Okay. Which I don't know if that's been in your vocab yet or not. Has it? Has it been in yours?
I used to wake up to it.
That's right. That's right. Arise, get up. So that's actually one. You could do arise, and I probably should have done an exclamation point. Arise. Lek is from halak, to walk.
Wow.
So this is an imperative. It's another imperative. And you could say,
Go.
go. That's an imperative. We know what imperatives are, right? Go. That's an imperative. It's what we use mostly for verbs in our language. L
is on.
two.
Two.
L, but good point. L, if we had an ion instead of an olive here, would be on. Okay, so you were right in the neighborhood. So arise, go to where?
Nineveh.
Nineveh, which we know as Nineveh.
Nineveh.
Okay. Nineveh. This is why I say if you memorize some of the words of the places like Nineveh, it'll help. It can help you remember these vowels in there. What's a hot ear, Wayne?
Did you say life was well?
Not in this case. This is
Ears.
hot ear. Think of what we've learned about if there's a hey in the front, what should we do?
Hey. Why is that part?
Hey, why is that there? So what kind of a hey is that, Wayne? It's the. How do we know it's the?
Wild guess.
It's fair. What's the usual form of the? It's a patah and a dagesh, right? But this ayin won't take the dagesh. Why? It's a guttural. It won't take it. So it rejects it, shoves it back down. So we know this is the word for the. And what's an ear? It's an ear. Ear. Do you remember? Have we had this in there? Well, let's think about what is Nineveh. What type of place is it? It's a city.
Near.
Big, right? It's a city. So we can even deduce, even if we don't know the word, we know that Nineveh is a city. Arise, go to Nineveh, the city.
City. Okay.
All right. So we've got that. Let's fill this in down here so we can keep track of that. Scooch over a little more. The city. All right. So go ahead and work on the next line there.
Again. Agadola?
Agadola. You got it.
Agadola.
You got it.
Agadola.
Yep.
Agadola.
Agadola. Agadola.
I was like, why is there for that schwa? Why do you pronounce the vowel again? I still like this is like your name. Why isn't it Hagadola? Why is it Hagadola?
It's preceded by a vowel. Agadola.
No, I mean, why does the gimel have a vowel after it? when you
Have-
say it.
Because it's doubled.
Oh, so if it's double, the schwa always makes a noise.
Only if the Bagad Kafat. So remember, we saw one where Bagad Kafat was following a vowel, but it didn't have a dagash. Because the dagash in a Bagad Kafat letter has two functions. It can just make it strong. So you're pronouncing the strong g instead of r, right? Or in all of their letters, it acts as what? A doubling. If it shows up in that letter, you know it's doubled. I had it on the prior slide.
Well, I'm asking about
Right?
the schwa. Then.
So yeah, no, I'm getting there.
Okay.
So this is since it's preceded by a vowel and our dagash shows up, we know this is a doubling dagash. And in a doubling dagash, that tells me that I have, by drawing, I have two gimels here. Okay. And each gimel has a shawah.
Well, okay.
First shawah, silent. Second shawah, moving.
So if that didn't have been, then you wouldn't pronounce the schwa.
No, if the doubling dagash following a vowel, you know it's doubled.
But I mean, if it didn't have the dagash, you wouldn't pronounce the.
You wouldn't pronounce the schwa.
Oh,
yeah. Then it would be closing. It'd be closing the syllable.
Okay.
So in this case, hag gedolah is how you would say it slowly. Hag gedolah, because there's two gimels there.
I see. Okay.
This is the hardest part of figuring out pronunciation and how the words are formed. It really is. It takes the longest period of time. And honestly, that whole thing about a dagesh not in the beit at the beginning of a word, I was just reminded of that like 3 weeks ago on my Saturday reading class when Bob comes in going, anybody know why this is like this? And Jeremy, you should know, you finished all this. What is it? I'm like, Bob, I can't remember for the life of me why that's the case. And he's like, well, it's preceded by a vowel. As soon as he said it's preceded, I'm like, yeah, now I remember. But I'm at the point where I don't think about this stuff anymore because I'm just reading it. I'm not thinking about those rules.
The schwas are like, that's the time that I.
It's
taking his time with me.
It's the absence of the vowel. So anyway, you got the word. You got it correctly.
Is it?
Agedolah.
It's about Egypt.
Agedolah. No, it's not. Well, let's finish reading the rest of it and then we'll work that word out.
Vu.
This one is actually a vowel. Ooh.
Uki.
Ukra.
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 Ukra. Ale. Ali. Or Ale.
Ale, you're good.
Ale.
Ale, huh?
Ale. E.
Perfect.
Olahaki.
Man, very nice. All right, so let's work on this sentence. So the city is how we ended up over here.
Tola.
Ha Gedolah,
The great.
the great. That's exactly right. Right? From Gadol.
Oh yeah. I see it in there.
So how would we say that in English? Arise, go to Nineveh. How would we just say it's
City.
the great city? Exactly.
Or the great city.
Here, like the
great
city of the
city.
great.
So it would, well, how do we know these two go together? How do we know that this is an adjective describing this?
They both have
No.
done in front.
They both have, what, Jay, you remember in the rule?
Def.
Go ahead.
What?
Go ahead.
It was like, what was it?
Gender.
Number, gender.
Gender,
Definiteness.
number,
Number and depth.
definiteness, right? All right. So let's
So
look.
the city doesn't have a construct then.
So the city is definite.
Oh, okay. But it's not construct for them.
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
Gedolah is definite, right? Ha. Number. Are they singular or plural?
Singular.
They're singular. Are they the same gender?
It seems feminine for the Gadol, right? Because
The Gedolah,
I don't
the ah is absolutely feminine. And what about ir?
Yeah.
It's an irregular noun. But as I've said, most places are feminine. The earth, feminine. She's a wonderful world. She's a wonderful city. She's a wonderful ship. Things like this have that feminine thing to them. So theater is actually feminine. So they do align in gender, number, definiteness. So this is a noun adjective relationship. The great city. All right. What are we supposed to do against this city, Wayne? We're going to,
Where's Kara?
right here.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to
Kara.
against this city. All out against it. Call it. Now, how would we know against it? You on the
All.
so the all right over here. Remember, you're on this first one up here. You were like, "Isn't that on?"
Yeah.
Right? And I said, "Nope. It's when you have an ayin." Well, check this out. You have an ayin lamed. So this is on or upon. All out on, which you could say would be against.
Yeah.
Because it's on it. You're going to make the calling on it. And here we have one of our first pronominal suffixes that we've learned against it. This is, you might say against her. But it's in what her is in the sentence that we've read so far. The city. That's how we know what we're calling it out against is the her. We have to look back and go, where's my her? Oh, it's the great her, the great city. Got it. So you're going to call out Kara against her. And then here's your key clause. Well, why would we do that? Because, why? Because, or for. What have they done? So finish this out first. Wayne, read the rest of this. You're doing great.
Aleta.
Alata. Give this one some.
Run. Oh.
Right.
Radon.
Right. Right.
Radon. Lee.
That's a fa.
That's a
Le. Fa.
That's
Nai.
Lefanai.
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 Yep.
Okay.
Okay. So for or because, why are we calling out against the city? Well, what's happened? You won't know this word yet. So just work on this one.
Wrong.
There's a raw. Sure.
Evil.
Yes. Or evil.
Tom.
Has come up. And that's this one. Allah has come up. Or has come up to my face. A great wrath.
Great evil to my face. Great evil.
Fascinating theological concept that evil can rise to the face of Adonai, isn't it? Some of our theologies say God can't look on evil. And yet here we have God saying to
Evil.
to Jonah, a great evil has come up to my face.
Same with Sodom and Gomorrah, because he said gay because I heard basically a report. Check it out.
Go check it out. I'm going to check it out myself. Just like he did Babel. I'm going to go look and see what they're doing for myself. I'm going to spread these people all over the planet. I'm going to have a look for myself. Right? If I'm going to destroy the city, I'm going to find out for myself what's going on.
Wasn't face with the mem at the end?
I'm sorry?
Wasn't it pay then mem was face?
So mipne is from the face of. Panim is the plural for faces.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
And then can you pronounce the alta again?
So this is alta.
Cool. So that Ashwat does make a vowel.
This one closes the syllable.
Vowel when you said it one time. So
Possibly.
okay.
Yeah, I did.
So there's no vowel there.
I wish we could just do Israeli pronunciation and you would never pronounce a schwa.
Oh, sweet.
Perfectly good to do that. This is from the word Allah. Allah. I think it's actually in your vocab this week. Allah means to go up. He went up.
Is that like the Muslim?
Then that's how I remembered to learn Allah is from Allah. No, it's spelled differently.
Oh,
But that's how I remember it, because Allah is up there. Went up, right? In flames, if you want to take it that way. But anyway, you did great reading, Wayne. Very nice. Very, very nice.
Jermaine, I didn't have to suffer through the last word. Like,
You should have, you want to read the rest of them? Steve might actually. All right, Steve, you've got the next one here. I know you could do it.
oh yeah.
All right, I can, let's do it like we did a line at a time and give it a shot. And then I can jump in if you're struggling. Okay.
Well, you?
So this is ba, ya, kam.
Yeah. But it's a, it's a Q. Come.
Yeah. Yep.
I always get that one backwards.
And it's very possible this is va, ya, kom.
Oh,
And I don't have the marks in front of me to tell me what it is, but it's very possible it's a va, ya, kom.
yeah. Oh, no.
Jonah. That's our character.
Ba, ra. Yeah, ra.
So let's
Ba,
put this one together. Here's your first syllable. Leave,
ba,
leave, row, off.
we roll
Leave, row, off.
Pronounce that. Yeah, so,
So it's
no.
leave, row, off.
Leave.
Leave, row, off. This patak, you'll see it under a guttural at the end, you pronounce it just before the guttural. So roach, like ruach, spirit. But that's not what this word is saying. Leave roach.
Roll.
All right. So vayakom, this is our verb. We already know it from kum, right? Kum, get up. So this is just a different verb form. Vayakom means he's going to do something. He rose up to flee. Well, who rose up? This should be these ones for you. Jonah. That's right. Jonah rose up. And that's this com. And do you remember what the lamed stands for? Two. All right. So here's our two, right? He rose up to, what's our next word in the sentence? Flee, which is probably what baruch stands for here. And it does. You haven't learned this word yet, but as Barak, I always thought of President Barack fleeing from the White House. He fled. Okay. Barak. Don't get this confused with Barak, a bless. That's spelled with a kaf, not a het. Okay. So they can sound the same.
Make sure he didn't bless the White House.
Well, in his own special way. Shouldn't probably say these things on tape, but I don't get any. No, it's all good.
So now, is it the, but no, it's not. It's the con. We have, is it schwa underneath it?
Oh, the bet right here?
That
It is a schwa. Yes.
okay. All right. So all those double dots like that underneath is a schwa, right?
Correct. Correct. Yep. It is the vowel telling you there is no vowel here. All right. Do you remember where he goes, Steve?
Tarshish.
Tarshish. All right. So where's he going? Let's do the next line.
Tar.
Tar. She. Sha. Tarshisha.
Tarshish.
Yep. And do you remember I mentioned the other week that when you get a place name and this little kamatz hey on the end of it, it means in that direction.
That's right.
So he's fleeing towards Tarshish. Yep.
And how do we know that it's not just a feminine thing?
Because it's the place name. It's a proper name.
But what about
It only happens on proper names or directions. Like if you were to say Kidma, that would be to the east, towards the east, because Kedem would be east. All right. What's your last word here, Steve?
Malif.
Melifne. Melifne.
Malif.
Yeah, very good. You actually kind of pulled that one off. Good job. Melifne. And go ahead and give us the last one here.
Adonai.
Adonai. Exactly. So Jonah rose up to flee towards Tarshish.
From.
Go ahead and it won't make any sense, but go ahead and just say it.
It's not from.
No, it is.
Oh, from.
From, and then there's another preposition, to
Whatever.
face of
From.
Adonai. Doesn't make any sense, does it?
It's no from.
From to the face of Adonai. So if he's to the face of Adonai, because we know he's just been having a conversation with God, right? The word of the Lord came to Jonah saying, so he's face to face. And what happens? He flees from the face to face of Adonai. So milivne, it doesn't work really well in English. But if you're following the picture, like if you're using the feltogram in Sunday school, you know, to arrange the little characters on the felt map, you'll see like, well, he's to the face and now he's from the face.
Maybe God just appeared on the other side. He's like, oh, you're not going in.
Yeah, God's going to appear down in Sheol with him and be like, dude, what are you doing down here? All right, so let me type this in, fill it in for you. So Jonah rose up to flee to Tarshish from the face of the Lord. All right. You do very well.
She did.
Very nice.
Man, I had a lot of dope. I swear to God, you whisper in my ear.
All right. Gary, do you want to try the whole thing or do you want to split it up?
Or definitely.
You want to split it? Okay. Let's do this. We'll split it up
Y'all.
right here on this vav. So read up to that purple line.
What? Goodbye. Y'all.
So if I were to put a Shawah right here, you would have Adonai, Yahweh.
Okay.
So, and Yahweh, or the Lord. So this would be Vi Hava, or and Adonai, Va Adonai. That's how you would actually say it. Va Adonai. Oh,
that would be that's a bad word there. That's a tat. One writer says tat.
that is a tet. So it's Teal.
They feel
Teal. This is what's floating over the water in Genesis 1. The Ruach, the Spirit, Ruach.
so. Yeah, raw,
Ruach. Ruach. Mm-hmm.
goodness. Terrible.
No, you're doing fine.
No.
You're doing fine.
And then, unless you don't know,
Mm-hmm. Ghetto.
Loren law,
La. Perfect. Ghetto la.
Loren L,
L. Perfect. Yep.
and then I young,
I am.
Nice.
I am. Yeah. You're getting it.
maybe.
No, you're getting it. Oh my goodness. That's fantastic. You did great. You did great. All right. We'll
Fill in the blanks.
fill in a few of the blanks. And the Lord, I'll just write that one in here. That's Adonai. He did something. He healed. You haven't learned that word yet. He healed. He hurled. It's like picking up something and throwing it.
Wasn't the teal something else too? Like, wasn't that in that Judah one where that was like the his teal or something, or his sword, or like, wasn't that something?
Yes. Matil
Whatever. The signage, this, something with an S.
signet.
Signet.
It's like a matil, got the same sound on the end of it, but I can't remember the word.
He's like,
This is a what's called a he feel verb form. It's a causative. And so essentially what it's saying is the Lord caused something to be hurled. And we're figuring out what that part is. But yeah, it's a different, there's actually a it's probably tool, P-U-L, is probably our actual root here. It's not frequent. It's one that's used, I think, less than 20 times. Infrequent one. So he hurled or caused something to go. What's a ruach, Gary? Do you remember? A ruach, the ruach of the Lord was hovering over the waters. The spirit. What else can it mean? Well, because he's not going to hurl his own spirit in, right?
Space, right? No.
Wind or breath. Wind or breath.
Okay, so that's why I tried the water to kind
Yep.
of disturb.
So
Waves.
he hurled, we know this is a wind. I think I've got my text up here. Right here. What kind of wind?
great.
Gadol.
A gadol wind. Right? A great wind. So if gedolah is feminine, so ruach, definite or indefinite? Indefinite. Gedolah, definite, indefinite. Indefinite. Singular or plural? Does it have an im?
No.
No. What about here?
Singular.
Singular. Feminine? What about ruach?
I really agree because of the definition.
Has to agree. And ruach is a feminine noun. Spirit, ruach, is a feminine word because the adjective always shows the gender. Even though the noun may look like it disagrees, the adjective will always show the correct gender in all cases. So ruach is a feminine noun. Don't make anything of it. It's just a language.
Always shows the gender.
The adjective. Adjective always gives you the gender. So what did he hurl here, Gary? A
Great wind.
great wind, right? Not the great wind, but a great wind because it's indefinite. And where did he send it? What's the L mean?
Two.
To
The
the, perfect. What's a yam?
Ship. Yam. Sea.
Sea.
Yam Su.
Yam soup. Sea of reeds. Right? He hurled a great wind to the sea. So that's it. Straightforward, right? Daisy, do you want to read?
Yes.
I'll help you read along with you, okay? We're going to go from this purple mark to this purple. Okay.
Vayahi.
Vayahi. Vayahi. That's a samak.
Sa.
Sa'ar. Sa'ar.
Also,
Mm-hmm.
God. Gadol.
Gadol.
Sorry.
Nope, you had it. No, you said it correctly. Gadol.
Oh, okay. God. Ba.
Nope, ba. You have it correct.
Ba. Yeah.
Bayam. Bayam. Okay. So sa'ar is the word. So, and it was, sa'ar is the word for storm. Okay. Storm. What kind of storm?
Great.
A gadol storm. So you're noticing this? We've had that gadol, Ganola city. We've had this, gadol, ruach. We've had this gadol, sa'ar. See how everything is gadol here? Everything is just over the top, big. And it's a Gadol Sa'ar, which would be a word for like a tempest. You're a seafaring person, a tempest on the sea. And that's what this would be. We just did that one up here, the sea, but here we have Bayam, on the sea, right? Bayam. See the difference there? Here we have Ayam, the sea, Bayam, on the sea. Same word, yam, yam, but this is the preposition with a definite article baked inside of it. The preposition with just a shawah would mean in a sea. Preposition with the patak dagesh, in or on the sea. The definite articles baked into this one right here. We looked at that for a few weeks. Okay. Daisy, you did well.
Oh, that's all right.
I did great.
All right. So, Robin, go ahead and go here to the end.
Baka
This is an O vowel right here. Sorry.
Oh,
Baka Oni Ya
Perfect.
Ish
That's a hit.
Ish Yava
Yeshiva. Mm-hmm.
Ish Ver
Lehishaver. Very good. Vaha'onia Ishva lehishaver. All right. So an onia is a ship. I don't know when you will have that in your vocab because it's not used very often. But an onia is a ship. Onia. So, and,
No.
right? And
right.
the ship. Well, the ship was doing something fascinating in this story. Fascinating. It was Hishvath. It was Hishvain. We've done a vocabulary word, Lashav. And I've said one of the ways I remember that is by saying, I should have thought about that before I did it. And it means to think or a thought or plan. So, and the onia, feminine, it, ishvad, it thought, the boat, the ship had a thought. Isn't that funny? Well, what was it thinking? Robin, what's Lamed? It had a thought to
Sleep.
shaver.
See?
You may not have had this word yet, but shabar is to break. But in this verb form, shishber, it would mean to shatter itself.
Mm.
So in this story of Jonah, even the ship thinks about things. Isn't that interesting? It's kind of funny. It's beautiful poetry that even the boat is like a character in the story. And so the way this our scriptures just lose some of the beauty of this as far as I'm concerned. And the ship thought to break itself. It's like it's a character in it. But your English versions and mine smooths it all out. And the ship almost broke up. No, it didn't. It thought about it.
What about that?
It thought about it.
Seems like
Yeah, exactly. I mean, because the Lord who hurls the great storm and the great wind causes everything, even immaterial things, right? Inanimate things. They recognize it's the Lord and it begins to think, I can't survive this. That's the image that's getting painted here, is that even the ship that's been made by human hands can't think to stand what's happening. It's crazy,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Beyond the mouth of the Columbia and ship, like the tugboat, engine died, we had a storm come up. It's real.
I can imagine. I can imagine.
Look, it's like a court.
I bet it. Oh,
Don't worry, look at music.
all right. Brent.
Jonah, Yarad, Yar, Yar, Say,
Yep.
Alas, Pilar, Bayish, Al, Ya, I was like, Yarada.
Perfect.
My goodness.
Perfect. All right. So do you know what any of those are in there?
Yeah, this one's there.
And Jonah.
And Jonah. Yep, we got that one. Very nice. And Jonah. Yarad. Yarad.
Down,
To go which way?
down,
Down. Yarad. So Yarad is going down. Allah is going up. Okay. So if I were to say, when we were going through Torah and we were going through Jacob's ladder and there was this ma'alah that was happening there, it's kind of a going up thing. But the way they form the word, it becomes kind of a going up and down thing. Okay. So if you were to, so stairs would be like ma'alah, or stairs or ladder. Allah going up, Yarad going down. And where did he go down? What's this one? 2. And I would say you haven't learned this one yet, but Yarkai, the inward parts, what's this? Tell us. This everything.
construct, masculine.
Construct, masculine plural, the inward parts of the, we have the hey, fatah, dagesh, just routine, everyday, definite article, to the inward parts of, and here we get a new word for ship, to the fina, not the onia, the fina.
What's the difference in the words?
Nothing,
There must be.
nothing really. It's, you would think there must be, but it's just the poet gets to pick whatever he wants to use.
I'm sure there's a different than but still conversation or something.
Yes, my rabbi that I had for C would say there are no synonyms in Hebrew, period. They all have different meanings.
That's what I assumed so far.
And then the other two, female rabbi and PhD Christian guy will say, no, they're synonyms. So it's, for our purposes, it's a ship. So he went down to the inward parts of the ship. All right. So that's the end of our sentence right there. And I just want to point out these 2 words right here are full sentences. So va yish shakav. Do you remember that one?
By you. Wasn't that really?
Va yishkav. This is actually our root, is right here. Our root of our word is here. Shakav.
Oh, like forget. Wasn't that
Sounds so close to shakach is forget, but shakav is asleep, laid down. Shakav, to sleep. So he was asleep. Vayeradam, here's our root word for this one. It's a rare one. Radam. You won't know it, but it means he was in a deep sleep. This is the same state Adam was put in when he got cut in half to make a woman. He was put into this state of Radam.
So, but then Dom was blood, right? But
The correct. The Radam here. But you'll notice, you'll begin to kind of see as you read that when you see these certain, those sounds, the Dam, Adama, Adam, Dam, Radam, they tend to be these lookbacks, these callbacks to sort of the creation narrative. It's really fascinating how you get these sounds that allude to that. But I wanted to point out these two words are full sentences. He was asleep. He was in a deep sleep. Just in those words. All right, I'll fill those in real quick. Good job, Brent. Everyone's looking at it and go, why couldn't you have the big long one?
You read 4 sentences. Huh? You read that in like seconds compared to my minutes. Stumbled through.
Yeah, Brent, next time, could you just stumble through? Make everybody feel better. Just kidding. No, actually, I've heard everybody do better tonight. You only had to seek out like 3 letters to remember their sound. So, I mean, you're improving. All right. Very good. Do y'all remember these charts?
Yeah. But I remember them. I remember they exist.
Yes.
Yeah. Pretty great.
So, yep. I would just encourage you to keep studying those. These ones I've highlighted in the boxes. You can go look at the video if you want. I didn't get last week's video posted. I apologize. I'm running a little behind. But keep learning those endings for your pronouns. They're going to come in very handy. Okay. Jay, you thought you were up the...
No, you did that to me once before. I think there's something.
All right. Would you want to take a shot of the whole thing, or do I want to break it up for you?
We'll start on.
Okay, let's go with the first line then.
So, Bayamar.
Bayamar. Yep.
Bayamar. That's El Elio.
Aleo. Alehem. Very close. Alehem. Very close.
That's the Sibon.
So this one's gonna just fool you. Sa uni. Sa uni. Yeah, well, that olive just goes, it quiesces. It's as though it's not even there.
Sa uni. And that would be what El Ne.
Vahatileni. Sorry, let me try that again because I don't have a lot of kombuchas there. Hiluni. Yeah, we don't remember. This might be the second kibbutz we've come across in scripture, right? There aren't very many of them. Vaha Hiluni. Yep, Tiluni.
El Hayom.
Hayam.
Aish. Swinish. Oh,
Oak.
Ayom.
Hayam.
Ayom. And then Ma'al. And that's Bo.
Ahem. You got this me'al, you got perfectly. Ahem. Me'al, ahem. Yeah, you did really good. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah. Catching up. You've been practicing.
I'm trying to.
I know that.
And the bad part is sometimes the time we have was like on Tuesday or Wednesday. So I don't have time to refresh Monday.
Yep.
And you get 10 seconds, or I tell people you get 30 seconds or 30 feet, whatever comes first. And then you draw lines.
All right. So we have an Amar up here. And he said, so the subject is built into this verb. And he said, what's El? To. What's him?
Them.
That's right. Them. So, and he said to them. And so we would have quotes right here because we have direct speech coming. Jonah's saying something to them. Sauni. Yeah. Well, so this is the pronominal suffix for me. Ani. Me, I, ani. And this is the verb form. There, you can't see it here because Hebrew writers don't like us, English people. But there's a noon or nasa, to lift up.
Yeah.
But the noon disappears because Hebrew writers hate English speakers. They knew that thousands of years ago. So Sa'u means y'all lift me.
Is
The U is third masculine plural. So you all men lift me and do something with me
About to say teal.
and toss. And look at this. See the knee? Toss me. All right, Jay. Where are they tossing him?
To a yelp. Where's the sea?
And just the sea. Yeah, that's right. The sea. Lift me and toss me to the sea. Then, that's our conjunction. Something's going to grow calm. What's going to grow calm? The sea will chateau, grow calm. What's the main preposition?
Oh, wait.
Go ahead, from.
Oh.
What's all? You knew this one, Wayne. All with an ion.
Up to.
Go ahead.
Was it the Allah or no?
On.
Oh,
From on. And Brent got this one. Hem from upon you. So, pick me up, throw me into the sea. And then the sea. We don't know this word yet. That's okay. It's another rare one. Chateau will settle. From itself being upon you. In other words, the sea is going to be removed from you, this tempest, and it will settle and calm.
Is the yod in a subtle word? I mean, anything to do with like me when like
Nope.
talking?
This is a yictal form of the verb.
Oh, it's the verb thing. Okay.
This yod right here tells me it's a third masculine singular verb in this form.
what did yom mean? I know you said yom.
See. Oh, yom, day.
Yeah, oh,
Day. Yom is day, yom is see. All right. Let me fill it in for you. So it's on the video. You guys go back and look. And he said to them, lift me and toss me to the sea. Then the sea will grow calm from upon you. That's not how it's not smooth English, but I'm trying to be somewhat literal so you can follow the makeup of the words. Okay? Oop, oop, oop. Come on back. Come back. Clear. My drawing. All right. So I can do this one, and then we'll do some vocab and get you out. All right. Vayisu et Jonah vatiluhu el hayam vayamod hayam bi'za'afo Miza'afo. Mizafo is how it would probably be, but I'm trying to catch that Shawa. All right. We learned about this one just last time I brought it up. This Sa'u, and I said there was a letter missing right there, and it's the noon from Nasa, lift. So they lifted who?
yeah.
Jonah. They lifted Jonah. And they Yiluhu hurled and tossed him to the sea. And Vayamod Ahmad is a verb that means to stand, or he stood. So something stood.
Yet the sea.
The sea stood
From
from its, this is a pronominal suffix, zath, from its rage. It stood from its rage. It would almost be like it's now standing back from its rage. When you read your Bible, it will say, it became calm. But I love the poetry. It paints these images of what's happening. The sea, now the sea has a character. It stands back from its raging.
it's weird that the preposition from is men in Hebrew.
Mm-hmm.
It seems very similar to English, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Because like from usually means that you're from somewhere, and the sea standing from its raging is like weirdly similar.
Kind of appositional, right? Sometimes the men can function as an appositional men. This is why I like Jonah. It's just full of these, I think, just really wonderful poetic images. And it repeats enough that, if you pick up a few words, then you can, read it. Can you imagine they pick him up and they hurl him to the sea? And the sea stood from its raging. What an interesting, amazing picture. That's sort of a quick summary of chapter 1. We'll do chapter 2 next week, see what happens with that. But we'll just do one chapter. It'll be 3 more weeks and we'll just continue to read through. Is it helping doing some reading?
Yes.
Yeah? Good. I know it always helped me when we got to do some reading too. All right. Vocab. I'll read these out for you real quick. So, emet.
What?
Emet is truth. If you put a noon on the end, you have amen or amen. So the word amen is from emet, which means truth. Can also mean faithful, surely, something like that. Kaved. You might have learned one that was kavad, but if not, that's okay. Kaved. This is to be heavy. He was heavy, or it can also mean he gave honor or he is heavy. So in the story of Samuel, when Eli is spoken of as being so big, do you remember that? He's a big guy. It's because he's meod kaved. He's very big. And because of the context, you hear in that he's overweight, but it also has a double meaning that he's full of his own glory. So it has this double meaning behind it. Heavy with honor, right? So,
Which would give him point for God chastising because he wouldn't hurt his kids.
exactly. Yeah. Kaved or kavod. It's an important word to know, to be heavy with honor. Kohen is a priest. You might know this if you came from LA. There are a bunch of Kohens who made movies, like Cohen.
The brother.
Cohen is the word for priest. Okay. So if you hear a last name, Cohen, their last name means priest. Cohen. I think we looked at this one. Meod, much, great, or abundance. Tov meod. 6 times God says creation was tov, but the 7th time it's tov meod. Very good. Meod. And then here's our word we learned, ir, city, and then irim, cities. And it is an irregular noun. It will take masculine elements, but it's actually a feminine word.
So arim.
Arim. Yep. Irim, arim. Allah, to go up, or he went up. Ahmad, to stand, for he stood.
We said that one.
You just did that one too?
Ane, Ana.
Ana. Perfect. Very nice. Ana, to answer or testify. How much would be the easy one? Ana, answer. Ana, answer. Ata means now. Don't get fooled by this one. If this letter is an olive instead of an ayin, you have the word for you. So the ayin matters. That's why sometimes I'm really glad my first Hebrew teacher got me in the habit of pronouncing that ayin in the throat. Ata. Make you feel silly doing it. But there's a big difference between ata and ata. It's a large difference. Ata means now. Now. A lot of times you'll see this as, and now this happened, or and now that happened. Par, and para. Para means a bull or a female cow if it's para. And this is why I just liken this to Pharaoh. Paro, par, para. And then, of course, cows were kind of a big part of their culture back then, too. So, easy way to remember that. And last one. We did this one. Ruach. Ruach, spirit, breath, or wind. Ra'av. Ra'av. You can see the Ra here is evil. You put a bet on it and you have a famine. Because famines are evil.
Yeah.
They're bad. So a Ra is bad, but a Ra'av is a famine. Sava. Sava. I don't know. I should have probably changed that. But I learned this one as satiated. Like if you have a huge buffet in front of you and you eat so much that you just can't eat anymore, the term for that is you're satiated. You're just stuck. You're stuffed. That's sava. Sava is to be satiated. You don't want any more. Sheva. Sheva is 7. Sheva has a number of meanings behind it, but just learn it as 7. It can also mean an oath in certain forms because oaths are related to 7s.
Couldn't it also mean plenty because it's the same root, isn't it?
Yeah, no. See,
They didn't have the dots in the original, right?
Nope, they would have known it was different.
They would have known it was different, but even though the dot type it.
Mm-hmm. Yep, just from its context.
Right, but it would have like a similar.
Good, yeah, sure. I see what you're saying. Yeah, it's kind of a related meaning. Yeah, I think you could probably make a case for that. Yeah, but they would have known based on its placement context.
Because there's 7 days and that's like a complete thing, and so if you had so much where it's like, I don't wait.
Yeah, you could probably make a case for that. And then Shana. Shana means year.
Yeah.
So if you have Shava, Shana, 7 years. 7 years. Yep. All right. Any questions? You guys your reading is really getting good.
That's 7 verb the triangle.
Oh, the this is the accent to tell you that's where the emphasis is.
Oh, right.
Sheba. 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 Or in the way I was taught, Sheba. Sheba.
And then the famine one, that one is the
Oh, you mean this one up here?
No, the famine one.
Mhm.
No, just because it all was there was like bother, right? But there's no gonna.
Of would be an aleph here, not an ayin. So Av with an aleph is father.
When you say Roach is shot on it, what does that mean? Because they don't
So Rosh, Ed, Shana, year was the first beginning of the year. But it was just their way of making a conjunction. That's not actually biblical.
But it's not if it would have been Harosh Hashanah.
Rosh Hashanah. No, they might just leave it as Rosh Hashanah. I forget. Okay. How do they actually say it?
His first is already kind of like it's already definite. And there's only one.
Yeah. Yeah. It becomes like a, what's the word I'm thinking of? Like a
Yeah.
proper noun just in itself. So,
Okay.
It's
So if they did say like the first of the year in the Bible, would they say Rosh Hashanah, or would they say
they would probably use something like Rashit, or they might say Tiflit Shana at the beginning. So there's a number of different ways I have to think about. Usually it will come with a number. On this day of this month, on this of this year, this happened. And you're like, oh, well, that day, the Echad, one day of that, what is it, Nisan, first month of that year. Now you know that's the start of the year. I'm not sure Rosh Hashanah, have a hard time saying it.
just like a
I'm not sure that's actually not even in, I don't think that's in scripture. So I think that's a modern invention. Cool. Anything